Hi, you're watching She Has Plants. My name's Alexa, and in today's video we're going to do a walkthrough of my plant collection, and I'm going to show you some of the new plants that I purchased, some of the new positioning and growth updates. I recently posted a styling video that did really well. Definitely subscribe. I'm going to be doing these updates more periodically since y'all seem to really like them. And without further ado, let's get into it. I moved things around since my last video and there's just a little bit of new growth. I've told you this before, this is a filler plant. It is a couple of pothos props. I consolidated my desk a bit because it was, you know, a little hectic and I want to use it for flat lays, and I do, and for filming. So I keep a lamp, a watering can, and I love my salt lamp. My boyfriend's mom gave me that. The utility cart, which I ended up hooking these guys on. I put the little tin thing. I think that was from like a Calvin Klein perfume in the 90s, and it came as a gift basket with like the whole like the lotion, etc. And so I just keep a couple of things for draining plants, and then I have more takeout trays snuck in here, and I keep things hiding in there, nesting, because it's just, they're not very appealing to look at. I keep some things on the windowsill, mostly propagations that I probably need to add more water to, a random decoration, some props, and then I have recently put my Hoya Super Silver Croniana. They're not actually clipped onto here, I just wrapped them ever so slightly, just the top bit, so it's really easy for me to undo. And I actually find that pest control is easier this way because I just flip it over and I can see the underside of all of the leaves, because I previously had aphids in here and I saw a single mealybug on here last week, but I sprayed it down and I haven't seen anything since. So the new growth is actually staying on now, and the vines that it threw out are starting to fill up. I can tell which leaves are new because of the texture of them. Like this is a little bit older because it's firmer, or when it's hardened off they have a different feel. Oh my gosh, I love this. It's so cute. Here's my pubicalyx. I didn't include this in my collection video because I got this later in September or beginning of October. I can't remember. Like, that's so bad. It was only a couple of weeks ago probably. But ever since I put it on a trellis, it started shooting these new guys. And there are some more that are developing up here, which is so cute. Oh, it likes its new home. I just keep it on the windowsill. I meant to say as well that my windowsill on my north side is a little bit inferior. I have overhang from the neighbor's balcony up on top. It does diminish the amount of light that gets received in here. But you know, they get their indirect light and they're happy. Clearly it's working. I shut off the grow lights here again, spare pots on the bottom. I will probably be changing this arrangement. I'm constantly toying with this literally every night. I'm shuffling things around. And now almost all my plants are in cash pots, so I'm able to do that. Like for instance, the pink Perfection, I put it up there to see if it improves with the quality of leaves that come out, and right now it's throwing out, whatever. Anyway, she's putting out new leaves. All of these ways of saying it. Putting out implies something else, doesn't it? Get your mind out of the gutter. I have some propagations of my Ripsalis Pilocarpa or Pilocarpa, and they tend to root easy, so I want to fill out one side because she's a little bit lopsided and bald, the original mama plant. I have these random tins from no, they're not from Dollarama, they're from IKEA. Lots of little pots from Winner's Home Sense, like this mini dragonfly with dragonfly pot with little legs. I gotta clean this silver tray, but I digress. This, oh my gosh, if you saw when I just got this in July, it has just blown up since I put it on this trellis from Houseplant Essentials. So it's a transparent trellis and it's got little picks in it, so it's really easy to stick it in the pot. And I've kept this in the original pot in an IKEA little tin. See, it's the original pot that it came in, but it's happy in here. I don't know. Anyways, I have it a little bit lopsided now. Shit, why did I move that? 3.5 inch pot from Canadian Tire. Paid $8.99 for this. These are new leaves. Oh my gosh, they're so soft. And then there's a couple of new ones coming out here. And what's really curious about Crimson Princess is that the bottom of the leaves are fuzzy, but then, yeah, there's like very slight peach fuzz on top too, and it's like very separated. And when the new leaves come in, they come in red. When there is not any variegation on the leaf, they'll come out like that, like a sort of burgundy, almost blackish kind of brown color. But when there is variegation, like there is on this little vine here, they come out pinkened in the center or reddened in the center, and there's a little bit of damage on this leaf, but whatever, it is what it is, it happens. I have some wet sphagnum moss in here, and the Ficus shaveriana, legit, it's in a plastic cup that I cut and put some holes on the bottom. Normally I would have it in this little thing because it fits perfectly, but because it's all consolidated in here, it doesn't need that. I need the elevation for the props instead, so I have them in here. And this, you saw me haul this in another video. It's a dog bowl. Imagine that. It's a dog food bowl, but it just works so perfectly for this. I think I'm gonna have to water my Alocasia. I just felt the soil, but right now it's living in this little cash pot. Canadian, no, this wasn't from Canadian Tire, but Canadian Tire has similar ones. It has a drainage hole on the bottom that's covered with a little rubber, so you can remove it or keep it on. From Winners. It was expensive, it was $12.99, but I just really wanted it, so I was like, forget it. Fine, I'll just get it. My string of hearts. I removed a couple of the bobby pins that I had in here to let it trail, just for like display purposes. And for now, I wanted to bring it up closer to the light, so I put that in a candle holder from Pier 1 from the 90s. Be sure to hit the like button if you're enjoying this video so far, and subscribe so that you don't miss out on new videos. If you have any questions about the products that I'm talking about, or the plants, their cash pots, etc., or the plant names, let me know and I would be happy to answer you in the comments. If not, I'll include what I can include in the description box, and without further ado, let's get back to the video. I just have to be really careful on the edges here. If you're not paying attention, when you separate the vines from it, they can get stuck and you can rip off leaves, so I'm very careful with it. But I love how this kind of like works a little bit like a comb to separate the strands if you want to. Then we have my Crimson Queen. I didn't show you guys that I bought this. I got it at Marché Milton. It's in the Plateau area, not far from Saint Laurent. I got this, I think it was $9.99. Usually the plants that I get there cost that much. It's so wild how the Queen and the Princess are actually so different. Aside from the fact that the variegation is obviously on the edge of the leaves instead of the center, the leaf itself feels completely different. So I don't think you could ever really mix up the two. When you know, once you know, you know. Like, you can't unsee the difference. And you also can't unfeel the difference, because firmer leaves, although they're fuzzy on the bottom side as well, they just don't feel the same. And this is just it's like a straight up vine that I picked up. The seller at Milton, he is so nice. It's actually like a little dépanneur, and they have so many plants. And he was telling me the story of like how much the prices have fluctuated. And I got my Cebu Blue from there, which is probably from his mother plants, because he just grows from large mother plants and does cuttings, and then other times he receives imports, or I don't know, wherever it is that he receives plants. This has finally shot a new leaf. This is one of my newest, guys. This is one of my newest plants. This and the Alocasia brancifolia, I think is what it's called. I almost bought a different Alocasia, but I don't know. I'm kind of like nervous about them because I wonder, you know, do they need much more humidity and things like that. That little tray is very old and it's from IKEA. I've repurposed this for so many different things. I get all my big ceramic pots from Winners, HomeSense, always. And the plant rack, I have no idea where it's from. Like, my mom had it forever and I just repurposed it here. It's not my favorite thing, I've told you guys. My Calathea rattlesnake is giving me some new leaves. and it's still in its baby nursery. I haven't taken it out of here. Nothing has changed with my Thanksgiving cactus, but I took out my marble queen from the previous pot it was in and put it in this pebbled kind of square shaped retro planter from Simon's, which sold out a while ago. But I'm so glad I purchased it, and I love the look of this. It's so cute. Look at how beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love the variegation on this. It's so pretty. Gosh, these are some of my favorite leaves. I really have to thank my colleague for giving me a cutting. That same colleague got me a runner from her Chinese money tree, the Pilia. Peperomoides is what it's called, I think. Anyway, I ended up putting this in a nursery, and it's actually in a smaller pot than what it was before. It was in that big guy that's on the floor that I don't feel like pulling up, but I feel like it's doing better now. I don't know, it's much closer to the root ball, but there's still space, and I think these are epiphytic as well, so they would prefer to be more confined anyways, because normally they're attaching themselves to a tree, so they don't need a lot of substrate. And I like the combo here. It's really cute. I've not changed the rubber tree, the burgundy ficus, but since cutting it, because you guys, I told you guys there was a mini infestation, it is coming out with some new growth down here, so it wants to survive. There's plenty of new leaves shooting out right there and in different places, so I'm quite happy with the progress that it has made, and love this pot. It's in a cash pot, but this one also has drainage, so if I'm in a rush, I just put one of those plastic trays underneath and I can check on it later, even though I always drain my plants when I water them. There's the Cebu Blue from Marche Milton, from the mother plant that the store owner has. I think he's the owner. Anyways, but he's super nice, and look at how pretty. That's my living room. The one thing I would say is I'd love to change out this light. If I could make it some lights that are pointed to the plants there and put LED lights that actually serve as grow lights. Chef's kiss. Of course, these shelves are adjustable and subject to change. I will promise that. Like, I'm definitely going to change this up. I always do. I think it'd be really cool to have lights up there pointing this way. That would diminish the amount of eyesores there are in terms of like clip-on lights and things like that, because grow lights are ugly, y'all. They can be really ugly. Moving into my bedroom, I have this really awkwardly shaped window that faces a parking lot. So it's not exactly appealing, but I do receive light here, and so I want to take advantage. So you can see from here that the placement of the window is kind of awkward. This is where I keep my snake plant. It gets a lot of light and it's been growing up tall. I'd love to change that stand. Not really into that green, but okay. I use what I have as much as I can without going out and purchasing new things. Speaking of which, there was a lamp here that left a mark, so I just put this tray over top and I put the plant over it. This philodendron Brazil is also from Marche Milton. Occasionally I will put plants on this windowsill because they're kind of protected by the glass. It's a very limiting space due to the glass that's there. It's like a safety glass in case a child decides to jump out the window. And yeah, it just works for me. I love looking at the leaves turning outside the window and then seeing the contrast of the green. This was my mother's bedroom. She used to have the bed right here and a dresser here with a plant on the corner. Anyway, now I'm keeping everything here. Actually, the Monstera used to live in the corner fully facing the window, but I decided to push it back. I have a lamp here. It's got an LED grow light bulb. I've showed her before. She's huge and she's happy. I mean, she's trailing a bit. The Pilocarpa is hanging on this clothing rack. I really thought I was going to use this for a bunch of plants, but I haven't ended up doing that. It's just, it looks kind of hectic. Actually, speaking of hectic, I think I'm going to roll this into my bedroom right now. There we go. Yay! On the windowsill here, I keep a couple of Hoyas because the curtains are shorter and they don't disrupt the plants and are thinner as well. Remember when I showed you guys the Kalanchoe? They were filmed on September 15th. Now we're on about a month later almost. It's Thanksgiving weekend, Canadian Thanksgiving, and it's filling out and it's looking better. A philodendron micans that is just in the pot, and then a climbing philodendron micans, and this is one of its bigger leaves. begonia Fanny Moser, which is very happy on this window. Here is the pilocarpa that I need to fill out because one side is quite literally naked. On this windowsill, I have a Cebu blue cutting, and the thing about this is the other cuttings died. That's why I have such a miserable amount of propagation here. Previously, I told you guys that I thought I was killing this rubber plant, and I was killing it because it started out big and then the stem kept rotting, and I kept trying and persisting. But these two leaves actually have little tiny root systems, so I'm gonna keep it in here and keep trucking. We'll see in a few months what happens. If you can't tell, my living space isn't the brightest because I have north-facing windows in the living room, and there is an overhang from the neighbor's balcony, as I explained previously. So I only keep a couple of pothos here, and I don't really keep plants scattered around the apartment. They are just huddled around the windows so that they receive the best growth possible, except these pothos, because honestly, I mean, it's pothos. Like, it'll be fine. Definitely check out the video on the screen right now because YouTube thinks it's the next thing that you'd like to watch from me. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. You subscribe so that you don't miss anything. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!